No one would have thought that there would be snowfall in the hottest and arid regions in the world, such as the desert, because this is a natural phenomenon that occurs only in regions with temperate and temperate climates. However, in some mountain ranges in the Sahara Desert, snowfall is very common, such as at Tahat, the highest mountain in Algeria, with a cycle of about once every 3 years in winter. As for the Tibesti mountain range in northern Chad, an average of 7 years, there are heavy snowfalls on the top of the mountain up to more than 2,500 m. However, something unusual happened when on February 18, 1979, the snowfall in the Sahara Desert, the lowland areas of the Sahara Desert, suddenly appeared a snowfall for the first time in history. Snowfall in parts of southern Algeria, along with a snowstorm that lasted for about half an hour, has slowed and paralyzed the transport system here. This is a fact about the world that has amazed many people.
Vatican City has an area of only 0.44 square kilometers, a population of about 1,000 people, located in the heart of the Italian capital Rome. The Vatican is the smallest country in the world. Established in 1929, it houses the Vatican, St. Peter's Square, two famous landmarks that Christians always want to visit once. The Vatican has a unique non-commercial economy in the world, driven primarily by donations from Roman Catholics around the world and income from the sale of stamps, publications, and souvenirs.
Holy Bible is perhaps the most influential book series in human history. The number of copies of the Bible surpasses all other books. The Jewish Bible as well as the Christian Bible has been translated many times, into more languages than any other book. Since 1815, an estimated more than 5 billion copies of the Bible in its entirety or major portions have been distributed, making it an all-time bestseller. The Bible in whole, or in part, has been translated into more than 2,100 languages by 90% of the world's population. With such a large print volume, the number of people reading the Bible also ranks first. If we calculate the minimum number of every book that is printed, at least 2 people read it. There are over 6 billion people reading the Bible in the world.
According to statistics, up to 5% of the population of Asia is believed to be descended from the late Sands. The actual number is in the millions. The descendants of Genghis Khan can be found in all regions of the world. He has conquered. In 2003, an international research team including scientists from Mongolia, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, China, and the UK published a research result that caused history. Accordingly, 8% of men living on the lands of the former Mongol Empire, equivalent to about 16 million people or 0.5% of men worldwide, have the same Y color and have similar characteristics. Descended from a common ancestor who lived about 1,000 years ago when the Mongol tribes began to grow. Mansa Musa, the king who ruled the Mali Empire in Africa in the 14th century, was the richest man in human history with a fortune so large that it is difficult to measure accurately. He holds many lands containing rich natural resources, most notably salt and gold. History records Mansa Musa as the richest person of all time with a net worth equivalent to $400 billion, converted to current value. A huge number that exceeds the combined wealth of 3 billionaires Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Amancio Ortega combined. By the 14th century, the name of Mansa Musa and the Mali Empire had spread throughout the Arab world and attracted the attention of cartographers in Europe. So much so that in the map published in 1375, Mansa Musa appeared in the middle of West Africa with an image of sitting on a throne and holding a gold bar in his hand as if to symbolize his wealth. Vostok Station, currently used by Russian, French, and American experts, is located 1,253 kilometers from the South Pole and 1,260 kilometers from the nearest coast. Vostok is also located at an altitude of 3,500 m above sea level and on ice, with a thickness of 3,700 m. In 1983, the lowest temperature ever recorded here was -89.2 degrees Celsius. That is also the lowest temperature on the planet that the station has measured since it was founded. Although the winter here is not warm, the summer temperature does not exceed -21 degrees Celsius. The weather conditions here are terrible all year round, but there are always people working in Vostok. 13 people work. Working in the winter and 25 working in the summer. On May 8, 1886, Dr. John S. Pemberton nailed the formula, but it was his accountant who came up with the name Coca-Cola Registered Trademark. Frank M. Robinson suggests that 2 C's would look good in an ad, and with that, Robinson also designed the world-famous Coca-Cola script logo today. Drawn in fluid handwriting, Robinson's elaborate drawing is trendy, and it remains one of the most recognizable brands in the world. Keeping it real with the introduction of the Coca-Cola Real campaign, the dynamic ribbon was enhanced with a yellow color and some bubbles in 2003. A classic design has changed. In previous designs, a simple and bold approach was taken with a single white ribbon in 2007. Instead of seeing different packaging for Coca-Cola Classic, Diet Coke, and Coke No Sugar, all flavors are united under the classic red disc logo design.
Coca-Cola has long held its position as the most popular soft drink in the world, but is sometimes lost to Pepsi, Mountain Dew, and Diet Coke. Even though people don't drink as much soda as they used to, Coca-Cola continues to climb the ranks. There are only 2 countries in the world that are not allowed to sell Coca-Cola: North Korea and Cuba. Currently, the U.S. is enforcing long-term trade embargoes applied to these 2 countries. If you can find any Coca-Cola bottles appearing in these countries, there is a high chance that they have been smuggled too. Although Coca-Cola opened a bottling plant in Cuba in 1906, production was stopped in 1962. Coca-Cola moved away, never to return. Because the U.S. currently holds a trade, economic and financial embargo against the Republic of Cuba. The magical world always knows how to surprise us and make many things difficult to explain. Canada with golden maple leaves has many famous tourist attractions such as Lake Louise or the glacier of the Jungfrau Mountains. In it, there is an extremely strange and interesting destination that is Lake Osoyoos with the shape of a giant drop of water. This is one of the most unique and strange lakes in the world. When looking at the pictures of Lake Osoyoos, many people will think this is a scene from another planet because of its fancy and uniqueness. If you have the opportunity to come to Canada, don't miss the opportunity to visit one of the most famous lakes in the world, Lake Osoyoos, near British Columbia. In addition to the name Osoyoos, this lake is also referred to as Spotted Lake, or Droplet Lake, by tourists. It is made up of many small pools, which is why it has such interesting and strange names. Every year, millions of tourists flock here to admire this beautiful landscape. The locals say that the lake water can also be used for healing because it contains a lot of minerals. Do you think that colorful strips of land exist only in artistic drawings? So you should once visit the strip of land called 7 Colored Earth. Brown, red, purple, green, blue, purple, yellow are the colors of this strip of land. The 7 Colored Earth strip has an area of about 7,500 square meters, including strips of land with different colors, located near the village of Chamorro, the island nation of Mauritius. With this strange beauty, this place has become one of the world-famous tourist destinations. According to research by scientists, the colors of the soils of 7 Colored Earth are formed from the decomposition of volcanic rock. Over time, they are eroded into trenches, then hydrolyzed and converted to ferrolytic soils. However, there is a confusing thing that geologists cannot explain: that no matter how much rain or wind, this place does not lose its color. What's even more special is that even if you intentionally shuffle the sand here, they will also rearrange their color order.